The Calvert County, Maryland Commissioners' Reports is a headline news podcast provided in part by the Calvert County Communications and Media Relations Division. Commissioners' Reports provides highlights from the Calvert County Board of County Commissioners, county government departments, and key government agencies. Commissioners' Reports covers regional happenings affecting Calvert County citizens, upcoming community events, and news. Hello and welcome to Commissioners' Reports. I'm your host, Kevin G. Schmidt. In this week's Calvert County Board of Commissioners meeting, Proclamation. Spring 2022 College of Southern Maryland Nursing Graduates. Nursing professionals are an invaluable part of the healthcare system and unselfishly give their very best to patients every single day, exhibiting dedication, patience, stamina, compassion, and critical thinking. The COVID-19 pandemic placed a significant strain on healthcare providers throughout the world, causing nursing shortages everywhere. The BOCC extend their appreciation and thanks to the 2022 College of Southern Maryland Nursing Candidate Graduates of Calvert County. Catherine Richards retirement. Catherine Richards, Food Service Coordinator for the Department of Community Resources, Office on Aging Division, is retiring July 5, 2022. After dedicating 30 years of faithful and loyal service to the citizens of Calvert County and the state of Maryland. The BOCC joins with the community and Catherine's co-workers, family, and friends in conveying best wishes for a long, healthy, and happy retirement with continued success in all her future endeavors. Parks and Recreation Month recognition. Parks and recreation programs are an integral part of communities throughout this country, including Calvert County, Maryland. Parks and recreation programs are an integral part of communities throughout this country and are vitally important to establishing and maintaining the quality of life in our communities, ensuring the health of all citizens, and contributing to the economic and environmental well-being of a community and region. The U.S. House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recreation Month, and Calvert County, Maryland recognizes the benefits derived from its vast parks and recreational resources. Appointments. Tom Jones and Gerald Day were appointed, and Dale Weems, Steve Zimmerman, and Thomas Zinn were reappointed to the Waterman's Wharf Oversight Committee. Melanie Dorenzi and Barbara Keat were reappointed to the Social Services Advisory Board. In new business, Department of Public Works Citizen Tire Recycling Collection Event. The Solid Waste Division, SWD, has previously hosted no-cost tire recycling collection events funded by the Maryland Department of Environment, MDE, for Calvert County residents, businesses, and agricultural farms. MDE allocates funding for counties in the state of Maryland to use for tire programs, including tire recycling collection events. This year, MDE has partnered with the Maryland Environmental Services, MES, to offer Maryland counties the opportunity to host a citizen scrap tire drop-off day on July 30th, 2022. This event is a financial collaboration between county and state agencies. Staff recommended and the BOCC signed the intergovernmental agreement with the Maryland Environmental Service to allow for participation in the 2022 MDE-funded Citizen Scrap Tire Drop-Off Day. Office of the County Administrator. Approval of the Calvert Marine Museum Board of Governors Fiscal Year 2023 budget. In 1973, the county assumed control and ownership of the Calvert Marine Museum as a division of county government. The Calvert Marine Museum's Board of Governors is comprised of 15 people and is appointed by the BOCC. The $633,624 budget is balanced and funded by earned revenue, donations, and a transfer from the Calvert Marine Museum Society. The budget is audited each year by the same firm that audits all county funds, and an annual income and expense statement is sent to the Department of Finance and Budget. Staff recommended and the BOCC adopted the Board of Governors FY 2023 budget for the Calvert Marine Museum. In a consent calendar, Department of Public Safety, Fourth Amendment to the contract between the BOCC and American Tower LLC, and temporary right of entry and staging agreement. The BOCC entered into a contract with American Tower LLC in 1997 to build 5 communication towers on county property. The contract is scheduled to terminate on September 30th, 2022. Office of the County Attorney. Tax credits for conservation lots. The BOCC has authority to grant a property tax credit to property within the county owned by a land trust that is subject to a conservation easement and is used 1. To assist in the preservation of natural area, 2. Generally to promote conservation, or 3. For the maintenance of A. A natural area for public access, or B. A sanctuary for wildlife. The Southern Calvert Land Trust submitted applications for property tax credits for the property located in Drum Point at 12857 Rousby Hall Road, Lusby. Both agenda items were adopted as presented. In old business, Office of the County Attorney, Budget Adjustment BA 002, Impaired Driver and Operator Prevention Measures. The taxpayers of Calvert County fund the purchase of vehicles, vessels, and equipment for use by county employees and employees of other agencies in providing public services. The proposal was the subject of a public hearing on June 14th and proposes to require those that receive county taxpayer funds for vehicles, vessels, or equipment to adopt standards and policies by December 31st, 2022, meeting the following minimum requirements. 1. Its employees, officers, directors, and agents shall inform their supervisor immediately when involved in an accident that results in personal injury, damage to a vehicle, vessel, or equipment, or damage to any other property while driving or operating a vehicle or vessel owned by or acquired with funds from the county, B. a personal vehicle while conducting employer business, or C. heavy equipment. 2. That all operators of vehicles, vessels, and equipment who did or could have contributed to an accident shall A. fully cooperate with responding law enforcement and emergency personnel without leaving the scene unless instructed to do so or as necessary for emergency medical assistance, and B. submit to prompt drug and alcohol testing to refute the presumption of being under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or both. 3. That refusal to submit to drug and alcohol testing shall result in disciplinary action up to and including termination of employment. 4. That restitution and reimbursement of all costs, charges, and expenses arising from the incident may be sought by the county or the insurer, regardless of then current employment status. And 5. That all incidences be promptly reported to the county's risk manager in a manner and with such detail as can be provided while compliant with all applicable laws, ordinances, regulations, resolutions, and policies. Staff recommended in the BOCC passed a motion to adopt and sign the resolution and budget adjustment, requiring recipients of all additional funding opt conforming policies and procedures no later than December 31st, 2022. Department of Human Resources, Police Accountability Board update. On April 10, 2021, the Maryland Police Accountability Act of 2021, Police Discipline and Law Enforcement Programs and Procedures, and was enacted by the Maryland General Assembly over a gubernatorial veto. Based on this law, the BOCC is required to establish a Police Accountability Board, PAB, and an Administrative Charging Committee, ACC, and to appoint a member to the trial board. The PAB shall consist of 9 members selected by the BOCC, including a chairperson. The ACC shall consist of 5 members. The chairperson of the PAB or a member of the PAB designated by the chairperson, 2 members appointed by the county commissioners, and 2 members appointed by the PAB. The BOCC is to appoint to the trial board an actively serving or retired administrative law judge, or a retired judge of the district court or circuit court. The BOCC appointed the following citizens to the Calvert County Police Accountability Board for 1 term: Lisa Marie Ireland Baroni, Alfonso W. Hawkins, and Susan P. Justice for a 2-year term, Suzanne Benedict, Quinton Urban Jones Jr., and Don S. Lister for a 3-year term, Brian Cedar, and as chair for a 3-year term, Wilson H. Perrin. The BOCC appointed to the Calvert County Administrative Charging Committee for 3-year terms, Stacy Stump and Norman Phillip Dorn. The BOCC appointed Larry D. Sampson for a 3-year term to the trial board established at state law. Department of Human Resources, revision of the Risk Management and Safety Manual, Impaired Operator Prevention Policy. The BOCC directed the Department of Human Resources to revise the county's current post-accident drug and alcohol testing procedures. The proposed updated policy language includes, quote, all employees and operators of vehicles or equipment who did or could have contributed to the incident shall submit to drug and alcohol testing to refute the presumption of being under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or both, and refusal to submit to drug and alcohol testing shall result in disciplinary action up to and including termination of employment, and may include restitution and reimbursement of all costs, charges, and expenses arising from the incident. Staff recommended in the BOCC sign the resolution adopting the revisions to Section 9.09 of the Risk Management and Safety Manual. Department of Human Resources. Amendments to work rules of Chapter 86 Personnel, Calvert County Code. On Tuesday, June 14th, a public hearing was held to amend the work rules of Chapter 86 Personnel, in addition to mandatory drug and alcohol testing for employees or authorized operators involved in an incident, removing the statement, quote, except under doctor's direction, end quote, from the post-vehicle accident procedure, and adding language, quote, employees shall not report to work under the influence of alcohol, intoxicants, or illegally used drugs, or possess, sell, transfer, or purchase same on county premises or work sites while on duty. Employees who are off duty are subject to any departmental order, oath, or code of conduct which may address or prohibit these activities. End quote. Staff recommended and the BOCC accepted the proposed code amendments and signed the ordinance. Department of Public Works, W.M. Garnett Contract Extension. On February 21, 1997, Calvert County signed a 20-year contract with Garnett of Maryland, Inc. for the hauling and disposal of municipal solid waste, MSW, from the Appeal Transfer Station. The contract was extended for 5 years and expired on February 21, 2022. The contract extension with Garnett of Maryland includes a transportation surcharge of $3.25 a ton for waste that is processed and transferred from the Appeal Transfer Station. In order to increase the tipping fee rate to accommodate the transportation surcharge and to account for changes to Solid Waste Division's FY23 budget, a public hearing was held on June 14, 2022, and after receiving public comments, the record was closed. Staff recommended and the BOCC approved the budget adjustment and signed the transfer station contract extension. Presentation: Office of the County Administrator. Update: Comcast cable build-out, serving the unserved homes. In August 2021, the BOCC removed customer contribution and cost-sharing requirements between the customer and Comcast. In November 2021, the BOCC expanded the August 2021 scope and decision to include all homes beyond the 300-foot requirement, Phase 3, outlined by the 2018 Comcast franchise agreement, and voted to reimburse customer contributions made by Calvert County residences who paid for Comcast service extension between January 1st through December 31st, 2021. Staff proposed two options for the Phase 3 installation: a 100% underground option for $6,715,539, or a mix of aerial and underground installation for $6,050,352. After considering the long-term cost-benefit analysis of these options, the BOCC directed staff to schedule a public hearing to approve and adopt Option 1 Phase 3 100% underground installation with a 12 to 18-month timeline, totaling $6,715,539. Comcast will contribute $478,800 towards the project, with $6,236,739 cost to the county. Staff is exploring grant opportunities to assist in the county's cost. Staff is also collaborating to amend the Memorandum of Understanding with Comcast to finalize the project. And work session: Department of Planning and Zoning. Proposed update to the Adequate Public Facilities Ordinance. The Adequate Public Facilities, APF, regulations are a tool used during the review and approval of residential subdivisions and residential developments. An objective from the 2019 Comprehensive Plan is to update the current APF regulations for schools and roads, and to consider expanding the regulations to include the following: water and sewer, stormwater management, solid waste and recycling, fire, rescue and EMS services, and law enforcement services. Due to the complexities of the APF ordinance update, the BOCC addressed each APF category individually. Schools. Current regulations specify that schools are adequate when all public elementary and secondary schools that will serve the proposed residential subdivision or residential development will accommodate the pupil yield from that residential subdivision or residential development without exceeding 100% of the rated capacity of any of those schools. Roadways. Due to the symbiotic yet challenging nature of Calvert County versus Maryland state roadways, the BOCC requested an additional work session to discuss this specific priority and review additional options. Public water, sewer, and storm drainage. The BOCC directed staff to explore additional options with cost estimates for review and consideration. Solid waste, update proposed adequate to 70%. updating approaching inadequacy to above 70% but under 80%. Update inadequate regulations from development that encumbers solid waste facilities serving the county be considered inadequate if the capability to handle the additional waste generated by the development is above 80%. Public safety. Establish criteria to ensure EMS response resources adequate to meet anticipated increase in call demands, to include distance from EMS facility and response time parameters. Add reference to County Code, Chapter 44, Fire Prevention, currently part of the site plan review process. Law enforcement. Services are considered adequate if the projected ratio of sworn law enforcement officers to population is 1.5 deputies per 1,000 residents. Calvert is currently above adequate, with 1.9 deputies per 1,000 residents. Park facilities. Proposed language to equate a growth in park space to a growth of single-family and multifamily development, and fees in lieu of the provision of such public recreation space, or a combination of the above. As further discussion was needed, the BOCC directed staff to accept initial direction and return with an updated presentation. The Department of Planning and Zoning, Calvert County Comprehensive Plan / Town Center Expansions. The BOCC held a work session on June 7, 2022 to review the future land use plan, which includes town center expansions as adopted in the Calvert County Comprehensive Plan in 2019. The discussion included whether the board would like to pursue changes concerning the expansion of town centers, as described in the comprehensive plan. The board directed staff to do the following: pursue amending the comprehensive plan to remove the expansion area in its entirety from the Huntingtown Town Center. Keep the expansions proposed for Dunkirk, Owings, and St. Leonard Town Centers. Return for another work session to provide more information on the future land use plans for Prince Frederick, Lusby, and Solomon's Town Centers. The Planning Commission is currently updating the Prince Frederick Master Plan and Zoning Ordinance with help from county staff. Any proposed amendments to the Calvert County Comprehensive Plan pertaining to the Prince Frederick Town Center that are adopted must be reflected in the updated Prince Frederick Town Center Master Plan. The BOCC provided direction for staff to keep only Phase 1 of the Prince Frederick Town Center expansion. The BOCC provided direction for staff to remove the southern expansion of the Lusby Town Center and only keep the northern expansion. The BOCC provided direction for staff to remove the expansion area in its entirety from the Solomon's Town Center. Staff will return to the BOCC with an updated Calvert County Comprehensive Plan / Town Center expansion presentation to request more feedback and direction. Presentation. Office of the County Administrator. The Chesapeake Beach Railway Museum Rededication Ceremony. A Maryland Heritage Areas Authority grant was awarded to the Chesapeake Beach Railway Museum on July 11, 2019. The grant was funded through the BOCC, the Town of Chesapeake Beach, the Friends of the Chesapeake Beach Railway, and private donations. The grant allowed in part for the upgrade of interior exhibit space, which has been unchanged since the inception in 1979. The upgrades and improvements to the Railway Museum exhibit area included the development of the history of the Chesapeake Beach Railway into sections so that visitors could envision not just the beginning of the railway, but its impact on the Chesapeake Beach as a resort area, its legacy to this day. The new display gives visitors the chance to do a self-guided tour, as well as engage with staff and docents. The next regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of County Commissioners will be held July 12, 2022 at 10 a.m. In other Calvert County local news, primary election voting information. The Maryland primary election is Tuesday, July 19, 2022. Early voting runs Thursday, July 7th through Thursday, July 14th at the following locations: Community Resources Building in Prince Frederick, the Southern Community Center in Lusby, the Calvert Library Fairview Branch in Owings. Registered voters may also choose to vote by mail. Mail-in ballot applications must be received, not just postmarked, by the mail by Tuesday, July 12th if you wish to receive a paper ballot, or by Friday, July 15th for electronic delivery. Voters can request a mail-in ballot online if they have a Maryland driver's license or an MVA-issued ID card. To complete an application online, visit vote.md.gov/need ballot. Voters may also request a form by calling the Calvert County Board of Elections at 410-535-2214. Political district boundaries have changed. Voters have been notified of any changes by mail. Calvert County voters can go online to www.calvertcountymd.gov/polling places to learn more about voting precinct and district changes. view an interactive precinct and polling place map, and visit the state's Voter Services website to look up your polling place by address. Voters may cast their ballot at their assigned polling center on Tuesday, July 19, 2022, from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. The least crowded time to vote on Election Day is between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. Citizens can find their polling place, which is based on their election precinct. Eligible voters who haven't yet registered can take advantage of same-day voter registration, available during early voting and on primary election day. For local information and updates on the 2022 election, visit the Calvert County Board of Elections website at www.calvertcountymd.gov/vote and follow the election board on Facebook at facebook.com/Calvert Election Board. Independence Day closings. County offices will remain closed on Monday, July 4th, 2022, in observance of Independence Day. Many parks, pools, and the golf course will remain open. For a full list of closures, please view the press release under the News and Announcements section on the homepage of the Calvert County Government website. Quote, "Today we commemorate the birth of American independence and pay tribute to the nation's heroes who served to protect our freedom," said Commissioner President Earl Buddy Hance. Quote, "As we take time to celebrate with friends and family, let's reflect on what freedom means to us and be thankful to live in a country full of opportunity. We extend our sincerest gratitude to the brave servicemen and women who fight courageously and work tirelessly to preserve our independence. And thank you to the families who celebrate this 4th of July without their loved ones, who keep the home fires burning for our service members overseas. We wish everyone a very happy and safe holiday." That concludes our broadcast. The Calvert County, Maryland Commissioners Reports is a headline news podcast. Stay current with other news in Calvert County by following and liking the Calvert County Government's Facebook page at facebook.com/Calvert County MD, on Instagram at Calvert Broadcast, on YouTube, youtube.com/Calvert County Gov, and our official website, www.calvertcountymd.gov. Thank you.